How is it that Toji actually came back in Shibuya? And why didn't more people recognize him? And what's up with that final scene between him and Megumi? Let's talk about it. But first, special shout out to Raphael. We're going to be talking about all this, plus a little bit more, and everything in this video will be anime friendly. First, let's talk about how Toji actually came back, and it was due to the stacking of several coincidences surrounding Ogami's curse technique, which is seance. And essentially what that technique is she can take the information from someone who has passed away and use that to summon their body or their soul into a living vessel in order to utilize it. So what they were trying to do here specifically was summon Toji's body for her grandson to possess and use, because Toji is a freak. You know, his heavenly restricted body is next level. So her grandson wanted to utilize that to be a stronger fighter. So the key here is that by only summoning Toji's body and not summoning his soul, they thought they would be safe. They assumed that the grandson's soul would be able to win the tug of war, if you will, between Toji's body, and there wouldn't be an issue. Like, they would just get Toji's body with no drawbacks. Newsflash, they were wrong. So at first, things were going fine. The grandson got Toji's body, and this is the grandson in Toji's body right here. And we know this because of the eyes. They are white. We'll be calling attention to the eyes a few times in this video. But, so he gets Toji's body, he puts the beat down on Ino, but then things start going south. Toji's body starts winning the tug of war, and that's because Toji's body is built different. Any other human would not be able to win the battle versus the soul with just their body. But Toji's body is heavenly restricted. He is literally a monster. So this unique circumstance allows his body to just completely overwrite the grandson's soul, and he takes over. And when this happens, when Toji fully takes over, the eyes turn jet black. Now, it's not completely fair to say this is just the exact same Toji that existed when he was alive. Very similar, but again, this is just a body that has overwritten a soul. It is Toji, but it's not fully Toji. And because of that, he's operating on pure instinct, which is why he just starts running around looking for the strongest opponent he can fight, which is why we later see him end up in Dagon's domain. But before we get to that, I explained that this entire scenario was due to stacking coincidences, right? The first is that Toji's body was able to overtake a soul, but the second is that the way her technique usually works is that it's not infinite. It has a timer, but that timer is based on the vessel's cursed energy, which in this case would be the grandson. Whenever the grandson runs out of cursed energy, the seance technique should drop, and he would go back to his normal form. You know, Toji's body would disappear, as it were. But again, because Toji is unique, heavenly restricted, meaning he has zero cursed energy and he expends zero cursed energy, the technique will never run out. It will just run rampant due to this unique circumstance. So that's why even after he killed Ogami, the technique continued. And again, he's just operating on pure instinct, running around being a goblin in Shibuya. Now, as far as why Toji wasn't recognized, he actually was by Naoya, who is the head of the Zenin clan. You know, he's older and he obviously would have known Toji when he was alive. He even says Toji, which it's kind of weird that Megumi didn't hear that, but you know, there was a lot going on, so we'll let that one slide. But as to why neither Maki nor Megumi recognized Toji, well, let's talk about both of them really quick. And also, again, we are assuming that neither of them heard Naoya say Toji. So in Maki's case, she would have just been really too young. They were obviously alive at the same time, but she would have been a little girl. And she obviously would know about Toji via reputation. You know, he is the curse of the Zenin clan and looked down upon. So I think for sure she is familiar with Toji, but only by reputation. And again, in her mind, Toji is dead. So this person that just burst into the domain, she's not going to assume that it's a dead man, right? So she really just doesn't have enough frame of reference to recognize Toji in this moment. Now, for Megumi, you know, same situation where he's young and everything, but obviously this is his dad, right? So you would think he would recognize him. But he really just doesn't know much about his dad at all. In fact, Megumi thinks his dad is still alive. It's just that he is a complete deadbeat and has been gone his entire life, right? So of course he's not just going to assume this random person that burst in happens to be his dad. And for why Toji didn't recognize them, again, he's operating on pure instinct, going after the strongest opponent he can, who at the time was Dagon. So he wasn't really even paying attention to anybody else and was just going for the blood, right? Then when that fight's over, he goes for the next strongest opponent in his mind, which ended up being Megumi. So why didn't he recognize Megumi after they then were having a one-on-one fight for a while? And it's because he was in this instinctual, bloodlusted mode. However, as their fight continues, Toji eventually gets in really close and stabs Megumi. And in that moment, there is a trigger of recognition. And we then see Toji's eyes go back to white. This is him kind of exiting that instinctual bloodlust mode and kind of becoming more his level-headed self, if you will. And he recognizes his son, which it took him a while because he never would have known Megumi as an adult. You know, the last time he would have seen his son was when he was like 6 or 7 years old. So obviously there's a resemblance there. He does eventually see it, but that's kind of why it took him so long. But once he does recognize Megumi, it shakes him out of this and he asks what his name was. And the reason he does that is because the whole thing with Megumi was that he was considering selling him to the Zenin clan. But Toji hates the Zenin clan. So while he was going to do that because he's a degenerate and, wanted money, he was conflicted about it, right? Which is one of the reasons he told Gojo about his son at the end of their fight. So in this moment, he was just trying to determine if Megumi ended up being sold to the Zenin clan or not. So when Megumi said his last name was Fushiguro, this made Toji happy, knowing that his son wasn't, being subjected to this clan that he himself hated so much. So the whole sequence ends with kind of this dark yet wholesome moment where Toji takes himself out for his son. And again, is why Megumi never had a similar moment of recognition. It's because he doesn't know enough to recognize that that is his dad. Gojo has still never told him what happened. For all Megumi knows, his dad is just a deadbeat still alive out there somewhere. He's just completely in the dark on this situation. But since we had our wholesome dad Toji moment, it's only right that we have our deadbeat dad Toji moment, because this question fits pretty well in this video as well. And this one comes to us from Mike, who wants to know why Toji in Season 2, Episode 2 said, "Who is Megumi?" As if he didn't know his own son's name. This is the moment, by the way, when he's at the racetrack and his liaison guy mentions Megumi, and Toji has to pause and think for a bit, and he's like, who's Megumi? So unfortunately for Megumi, the explanation here is simply that Toji is just a degenerate deadbeat dad and literally forgot his son's name in this moment and couldn't place it. And this moment actually comes full circle later on in the Hidden Inventory arc after he defeats Geto and is talking about, you guys are blessed with your curse techniques, but you were taken out by a monkey. And then the word blessings is apparently what Megumi means. And so he's like, oh yeah, Megumi. I'm the one that gave him that name. So it's not until 3 days later that he even remembers. Alrighty, y'all, that's going to do it for this one. I hope I was able to shed some light on those things for you guys. And again, really special shout out to Raphael and Mike for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I will see you guys in the next one.